What's up, guys? Scott of Doom Studio here. Finally gonna get around to doing this tutorial. I've been just really busy in life right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to recreate a type of Swedish death metal tone using Reaper, the Pew plugins, and the Messiah Impulse. Okay, the Messiah Impulse is the only thing that you probably will not get because you have to buy it. But let me show you something. The Messiah Impulse can be found at criticalcabs.com. I've been using this thing for almost a year now. When I bought it, it originally was just the one Impulse. Since then, he's done 3 others, which he's given to me free because I bought the first one, as well as a mixing guide and drum samples. So you get 4 impulses, drum samples, and a HD mixing guide for $5. Please just throw him $5 and this will be emailed to you right away. This is not my product. I get no money for promoting this, but I use the Messiah Impulse for everything I do. So that is the only ingredient that is not for free. Otherwise, everything you're about to see here is freely downloadable and available on the internet for no money. So let's get started. Let's have a listen to our impulse, to our sound. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is just play. In this clip here, my guitar is tuned to D, and I just do some random palm muting chords. So here we go. Alright, you can already hear the Swedishness, can't you? For this one, I dropped the 6th string down, okay, and I'm doing bar chords here. Okay, you can hear as if you use lower guitar tunings that this tone has a lot of bite and a lot of meat, so it'll definitely work for you. Now, if you're not a fan of quad tracking, I mean like 2 tracks on either side of the stereo pan, this is what it would sound like if you just did a left or a right. Now, I did this very quickly, so it's a bit sloppy. Alright, so there it is, guys. It's not very hard to create either, so let's have a look. I like to work very neatly, so I have a folder. And in this folder, I've got one EQ that's just sort of like a master shape, I guess, where I do a high pass of 120. This is for my guitar now. Don't copy these settings and just think you're going to get a good sound. My guitar is very cheap, and it's from China. It's very bad guitar actually, so I have to do a lot of cutting in the low end. And then I do a low pass around 11.5, or 11,000, depends. Okay, so I put that on the folder EQ, which will affect all of the guitar tracks. All right, well, let's have a look at the guitar tracks individually. Now, open this up here. Here we go. So, first thing you need to do, or whatever, you'll need to get G-Gate, okay, TSE 808 version 1, LePew Cab, LePew Lift 456, alright, and the Messiah Impulse. So, the gate, set it to your guitar to where it sounds good, pretty self-explanatory. For the overdrive pedal, no drive. Okay, just keep drive down. Volume, 65–70%, and tone is your choice. Experiment. Okay. I think the Lift 456 is the best head for this particular sound. I've tried the Legion. I've tried the Neck Crow 7170, I believe it is, and just don't like them as much as Lift 456. So I would recommend this one personally. But please experiment, try your own ideas, right? Make sure your drive is about 35–40%. This is really important, especially if you're layering guitars. If you're layering guitars, it's best to have the drive a bit lower than you normally would, because, layering, right? What's going to happen? It'll stack. And if you have your drive set a little too hot, your sound's going to crack, and the layering will sound awful. So make sure your drive's down a little bit. Low, not surprisingly, about 70%. Mids, again, not surprisingly, 40%-ish. Okay. Now your highs. You can have your highs about 80%, even higher if you wish. I prefer not to. I keep my highs in check, quote unquote, about 65%, okay, or 60–65% personally. Contour, your choice, however you think it sounds best for your guitar and your sound. Same thing with focus, bottom, and bright, up to you. However, your volume needs to be cranked. Make sure you have high quality ticked up and stereo, okay. So let's go to the cab. Now, this is where I use Messiah 1 and Messiah 4 impulses. If you don't have them, try and find something that you like. My recommendations would be to blend two impulses that are a bit different. If there's an impulse with a lot of bite, and then if there's an impulse with a smooth top or a fuzzy top, blend them together, see what happens. Most of the time, that's how you're going to get a nice sound. It's almost never going to come from just one impulse. Okay. Now, I want to show you guys something just so you guys can see that this EQ really does work. I'm going to play the guitar track without any of the EQ that I've done. So here we go. I'm going to solo it. Right, so I'm going to play it again, and I'm going to enable all of the effects. Right, okay, so you can hear clearly that the EQ shapes the sound, right? So let's go back and look at said EQ. So you're going to need to put 4 EQ tracks into your DAW. If you're running a bit low on RAM or you don't have the best processor in the world, this could dog your system up a little bit. Sorry, you can't do all this with one EQ band. It's just not possible. What I would recommend you do would be to work in steps. Record a guitar, render the track out. That way the resources aren't being used. Okay, you can free up your machine. It's a pain in the butt, but that's what you have to do if you don't have the best rig to work on. Okay, so first EQ. Again, do a high pass around 100. Once again, this is just for my guitar because it's a beast in the lower registers. I don't know why, it just likes to create a lot of rumble. So I have to do aggressive cutting. You may not have to do this if you have a very nice $3,000 guitar, which you probably don't. Which is why you're watching this free video, how to make free tones with no money. That's just a little joke. I'm just kidding. But no, if you have a nicer guitar, you probably will find that you won't have to do such aggressive cutting, which is fine, which is good. Now we're going to start shaping the sound, okay? Around the 380 to 400 range, you're going to want to do -5-ish dB cut. Your choice. This is where you experiment. I'm just giving you the frequency ranges to work in. Also make sure your bandwidth or your Q is not very big, okay? You don't want to be cutting huge ranges. I mean, if you're doing it and it's looking like that, that's wrong. You don't want that. You want something like that, okay? Next, EQ. First band is going to be around the 1530, 1550, just around this range, okay? You want to boost it 5 or 6. You can go higher if you wish. It depends on what you want to do. Okay, again, these are just the frequency ranges for you to work in. Next one is going to be a 5 dB cut around 2770. Alright. Okay, again, make sure your Qs are not that big. This is where the sound really comes out. You'll have noticed when I was going through this, when I clicked on this one to enable it, this is where the Swedishness came out of, right? That's because of the huge boost that we do at 2510. I do 9. Sometimes I even do less, to be honest. I sometimes do 5 or 6. But for this one, 9 is going to get you the quote-unquote authentic sound without much problem. And then you want to do a cut at around 6,500. Okay, 6,500. I did a little bit lower. Make it a pretty reasonable cut, 5 to 8 dB cut. Okay, and again, medium-sized cues. Okay. And finally, first one at 220, I cut around 5 dB. Works good for my guitar. Sounds good. And then I did a low pass around 11,100. That's your choice. You can make it around 10,000 if you want. It's just going to cut the airiness of the guitar a little bit. I just wanted my guitar to sound a bit more open, so that's why I chose to do this. Up to you. Okay. And then finally, what you do after that is you shift-click, copy, and paste it to all the other tracks, and you're done. That's it. Not a problem. Done. So, I hope that this has been useful for you. Clearly, it's not the exact Swedish sound. I mean, but to get the exact Swedish sound, you'd need to be in a studio, and you would need to hire the guys from Bloodbath, because Bloodbath get an amazingly Swedish chainsaw sound. It's totally manufactured. It's nice, but this is a nice step for you to get started on developing your own sound. The key thing you need to do is experiment. Sit down with your guitar, write some riffs, and just mess around. Look for a cool sound, and take some tips from somebody else. You know, don't just don't just follow my video, make a preset, and be done with it. You know, practice and experiment. Find something that works well with your music. That's the whole point, right? And if you got any questions or comments, please write them down on the video, and I'll answer them. All right? Hope it was useful, and I hope to get some more videos up soon. Okay? So, see you guys later.